How do you navigate pushing members to give their full effort, either in the breathing exercises or otherwise, while also making sure no one overexerts themselves? David, this may be a question for you, or anybody.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'll let Dave tag in because he'll have a great explanation because yeah, there's definitely things you can do for that. As far as the global, the big picture, a lot of it is just depends on, like I said, humidity, temperature, things like that. So if it's a hot and humid day, we try to do cool down breaks. I mean, we gush and go like every 5 minutes if it's really hot out, so we have a timeline that kind of, I think it's based off college sports where, we give them water in certain increments to make sure they stay hydrated. But we found that the cool down break, the 15-20 minute cool down break in the middle of a block really helps. As an instructor, you want every minute you can get to rehearse, and I get that. And it was hard for me to do at first, but I noticed that when we would give them those cool down breaks, we got a lot more out of them in those rehearsal blocks. So as far as your whole day and really getting through a day, getting inside, getting cooled off, staying hydrated, making sure you're hydrated before the day, stretching the right way, things like that really helps with those energy levels throughout the day. As far as the breathing stuff we do, David mentioned the different types of breathing exercises, and he had actually explained this to me a while back. So I'm going to let him explain exactly how you can pace things out.
Yeah, so when I started talking about it, I mentioned that I say the word awareness a lot, and that's really where it all starts. It starts with every member and every student knowing what their bodies can do. Like, take them to their fullest extreme breath. You have them take that deep breath and keep sipping in air until they feel totally full, and then they let it out. So making sure that the students know their own limits, because breathing, that the capacity stuff it's pretty individualized, right, for different people. And also depending on how long you've been working at those things. So I think starting from the beginning, making sure the students understand their limits. What is it to be all the way full, right? Like Chad had mentioned before. And then, just gaining the trust that we're never going to do things that are going to hurt them, but they need to give their all. If you give your all, you're going to feel like this. So giving them, almost like we chase a sound rather than a feeling. If we tell them it's going to feel like this, then they can kind of get after it until there it is. There's that feeling, or there's that feeling of, being a little bit lightheaded. Is that supposed to happen? And then that gives you an opportunity to talk about that and why it happens and the imbalance of O2 and CO2. So it can become really cool, and it leads to a lot of other things. But it's so much about the awareness when it comes to whether it's playing or breathing, knowing your limits and knowing what you can do and what your body can do, and how that can grow over time. You can gauge that over time, and that's a really, quantifiable thing.
Well, and like Davis told me many times when he's left the road and I've run the breathing gym, don't do power breathing every day. Yeah. He's always very sure to tell me that. So like David mentioned, your flow exercises, your power breathing exercises, your capacity exercises, they all do these different things. The more endurance-based things you don't necessarily do every day. If you do those every day, then yeah, you're just going to start to zap the students. So really knowing how to pace those things out, when to do a flow exercise, when to do a 5-15-5 where you're working on building up your lung capacity, when to do the power breathing to work on that endurance, and when to just read the room and know when the kids need to be pushed or when, it's time to have a little fun and throttle back.
And what I love about what you guys just demonstrated is, like, you're so taking care of your members. Like, I just love this about drum corps do this great, and the Colts clearly do. Like, you're talking about, that's such a valuable skill that you're, like, Dave, you just described that. You're teaching them exactly, here's how it's going to feel when you do this, and here's how it should feel when you exert this amount. Like, as demanding as drum corps is, and actually just marching band or indoor drum and whatever, like, every student in any of our marching groups should have those skills.
Greetings from DCI. This is Drum Corps International staff wishing Marching Roundtable and Tim Hinton the very, very best on your 1000th episode. We're so grateful for everything that you have done for marching arts all around the world. Keep up the great work. Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.